Greetings and salutations, y'all. In this video, we're going to go ahead and look at a proof of concept demo that, in essence, allows you to run Python in your web browser through a Quarto document. So first of all, what magical distribution of Python can actually run in your web browser? That version is effectively called Pyodide, and it's able to run Python in your web browser through a technology called WebAssembly. The details of this, we're not going to really get into, but basically this is our computational backend. Now, in terms of how we're actually designing and making this document, we're going to go ahead and use Quarto, which is a publishing platform for scientific and technical documents. You normally would use this in the process of doing data science, so designing a data science notebook or doing a data science analysis. All right, that in mind, let's now jump back to the actual document and sort of go through it and see some of the potential for running Python code in our web browser. First, we can start off with a quick calculation. So here we're doing 1 plus 1. We can also define and see a string. So here we're seeing the hello, which is saved in the greet variable. We can retrieve a previous object as well. So here we're basically looking and calculating out how many characters are being saved in the greet variable. In this case, hello has 5 characters, so we can see 5. At this time, also take notice that throughout all of these run examples, we've in essence been keeping track of when each code cell was executed. So I'm going to go ahead and press run code again. And notice what happens is I now go from a run order of 3 to a run order of 4. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at a few more advanced cases. The first advanced case here would be calling and using functions. So here we're going to go ahead and define the square function, which squares a number, and then call it. So we have square of 8 giving us 64. We can go ahead and reuse this function in other cells as well. So if we go ahead and press run code, notice that we're taking a list of numbers. We're using a list comprehension to effectively apply the square function to each of those elements, and we then get 1, 4, 9 as part of the output. Now, the true test of doing data science in your web browser with Python is really being able to access the Pandas package. So Pandas allows you to sort of store data inside of a data frame. In that case, we're going to go ahead and go run this code chunk that imports Pandas, constructs a data frame, and then displays it. So when we first ran it, it does take a little bit of time, simply because the Python package has to be downloaded and then installed just for this specific session. If we go down a little bit more, we can also go ahead and run a piece of code that relies on a package previously loaded and an object created through that package in a later cell as well. So here you have df.age giving you access to the age variable. If we go down a little bit more, for this proof of concept demo, we're not going to sort of show the matplotlib integration, but we can sort of look at that a little bit later. In the last section, let's sort of just do a free-for-all just so you can see that these are indeed live examples. So here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to retrieve that previous variable, greet. So notice I get greet down below. And I'm going to now delete that lowercase version of greet, type out an uppercase one called greet. And notice that we get an error emphasizing that greet is not defined. If we do a division by 0, right? So 1 over 0, notice that we also get that kind of error as well. And to cap off this sort of free-for-all exploration, let's go ahead and go to sklearn. And we're going to grab an example from the getting started part, and that is how can we scale data. So I'll go ahead, copy this example, and then drop it right into this code field over here, just like so. I'm just going to clean up some of the output so that there's no error. And then I'm going to press run code. Again, you'll notice that it takes a little bit of time to initially run because we have to download the sklearn package and then load it in for just this session. Once that's done, you can see again, we were able to use the standard scalar from sklearn to process the data that's being held inside of X. So if we also modify the value of X, right? So if we go, let's say 5, and we press run again, notice what ended up happening is the negative sign for the first column switched from position 1, 1 down to position 2, 1. Okay. So this is a really, really cool idea, and we're going to, again, sort of have a more solid way of using Pyodide with Quarto through the quarto-extension. This extension should be coming out at the end of December 2023, which doesn't have a lot of days, but if you're interested in learning more about it, please feel free to go ahead to the GitHub issue and subscribe. We'll send out a little bit of a notification when we have a version of the extension that you can use. You can subscribe by going over to the far right-hand side and just pressing the subscribe button. Alternatively, you can follow me on social media and you can have an alert about the extension there. Also, in this issue, you can also see that exact demo document that I showed, and you can submit here general feedback about the demo and if you have any suggestions for improvement. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.